do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness 1, and today I am going to talk about the coward and the con man. Now, today is going to mark 1 year to the day since a very prolific con man from Plum City, Wisconsin, was arrested because he decided it would be cute to threaten the safety and security of an attorney from Florida. And he was asked and given the opportunity to stop doing that. Instead, he kept it up. The woman had no choice but to have him arrested for violating the law. And the con artist from Wisconsin now sits at his son's home in Stuart, Florida, awaiting trial. And there's no telling when that is going to happen. And the coward who talked the con into this conduct is free to do whatever he pleases. He does not have to fear being arrested. He does not have to fear anything. He cannot go out there and he can do his own con, the QAnon con, and pretend to be some kind of hero saving children. And that's what kind of a world we have today. A world of con artists, cowards, and Q-tards. Now, today we are in the midst, yet again, of one of these quirky presidential elections where it seems likely that it is going to be the court system that is going to decide our next president and not the general electorate. Right now, it's neck and neck between Trump and Biden. Perhaps by Friday, we are going to know who won the presidency, but in the end, it doesn't matter. And this gets into the second half of my little commentary today. And that is that the con men and the cowards are winning the day in this country. I don't care at this point what people think of me and my political points of view, but it happens to be the truth as far as I'm concerned, because it plays out. As a country, we are all being conned. We seem to think that this billionaire from New York, actually billionaire in paper only, but this guy from New York who has all this wealth and flies around in his own airplanes and helicopters and now in Air Force One and has golf carts all over the world, is going to be for the common man. Those who voted on that premise are extraordinarily stupid. But the truth lies in the fact that these people did not vote with their pocketbook. They voted with their hate. They voted with their bigotry. They voted with their racism. Because when you look at the underlying current of what happened this year, that is what people voted. They were either for or against hatred. They were either for or against bigotry. Or they were either for or against racism. And in the end, the bigots, the racists, and the haters won, regardless who becomes president. Because look at who they chose in the Senate and in the House. They chose at least one QAnon idiot. They chose a guy who basically looked past an extraordinarily high number of acts of pedophilia, and they elected, at least in the first term, a pedophile to be president of the United States. And there's a good possibility that the pedophile is going to get reelected. Now, there's a possibility he might not be, but that's kind of a 50-50 right now. You know, we'll know in a few days who wins the presidency, but it really doesn't matter. Because the joke is on the electorate. They went and voted the same idiots back into office that got us into this mess in the first place. We got Bob Graham in there. We got the turtle in there again with Mitch McConnell. Senator Collins might be coming back. What a joke that was. Don't know about Murkowski yet, or if she was even up for re-election, but nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing has changed. Yeah, we picked up an astronaut as a Democrat, but we lost one in Arkansas. You know, racism in the South is king once again. So nothing has changed. And the future of this country for the next 50 years does not look good. Now, the silver lining in all this is that people of my age aren't going to be around that long. We're going to suffer in our own way because Social Security is now in danger of vanishing. You know, we may see our Social Security go away. We're likely going to see our medical expenses go up because Social Security, or Medicare and Medicaid is going to be destroyed by the Republicans that think this is socialism. Those of you who out there who are not of retirement age probably will never see Social Security. And since you people don't save a dime, but instead go out and buy $50,000 pickup trucks with flags in the beds and drink beer and do all those things that the redneck hillbillies do, you're going to wind up living under a tree somewhere when you're 60, 70 years old. Because you're not going to be wanted. And speaking of those $50,000 pickup trucks that the brush guards on them and the big fat tires that you can use to run into small SUVs, you aren't going to have them anymore. You're not going to be able to afford them. Because the jobs aren't going to be there to buy them. You know, that big fancy pickup truck that you people drive around running over SUVs and chasing buses down the road are expensive. The insurance on those trucks are expensive. It takes a lot of gas to run those things. So you got to have a good paying job to pay for it. And you're not going to have it. Because what's going to happen is the guy that owns the 150, 200 foot yacht and the penthouse and the big ranch with 10,000 acres, he's the one that's going to have all the money, not you. He might be the one to go out and get the $50,000 truck, not you. You're going to be driving some beat up shit banger that you're going to have to go out and figure out how you're going to get an alternator for it or a starter for it, or you're going to have to browse the junkyards to get yourself a transmission to put in it when the transmission goes, or else you're going to have to go out and just get rid of the old banger, or else put it in your front yard and go out and buy another old banger, and the cycle starts all over again. This is your future. And if you go out and get your girlfriend knocked up, you better get ready to pay child support, because she ain't going to be able to have the choice of what to do with the child. unless you decide, well, I'm going to abandon her and not pay child support, then she's going to go on welfare. And we're going to have orphanages spring up all over the place because QAnon's going to eliminate CPS, so there's not going to be anybody around to take care of the kids, so they're going to go into orphanages. Because for every one woman that cries about being given a bad rap by CPS, there's going to be 100 out there that don't want the kid. And the kid's going to wind up in an orphanage. He's going to grow up. They're going to turn the kid out when he's of age, and he's going to go out and commit crimes in order to make a living. And so that's what we get to look forward to. This country is going to go down into hell much faster than people realize. There is going to be negative impacts in this country for decades to come because of what's happening this week. There's no turning around. It's too late. Can't do anything about it. Doesn't matter if Biden wins or loses. Doesn't matter if Trump wins or loses. The damage is done. You know, it was done before the election, and it's just obvious now. You know, any slim hope of turning this country around vanished. You know, people say, well, in 2 years we can correct our mistakes. No, you can't. Because we may not have a country in 2 years. You know, the wealthy in this country is going to have such a grasp on the electoral system, we might as well not even vote. We might as well just stay home, eat our fast food, watch our TV, and forget going to the polls. Because it really doesn't matter. We had the biggest turnout in the history of this country, and it didn't mean shit. You know, the Russians, the wealthy, they're running the show. The deep state is not in Congress. The deep state is not the Democrats. The deep state is not the bureaucracy. The deep state is Russia, the wealthy businessmen and entrepreneurs, and the rich Republicans. That's your deep state, folks, and you just voted it in. So go out and drink your beer, honk your horns as you're driving around with your pickup trucks with the big banners in the back and, you know, saying you own the libs and own this person and that person. The only person you own is yourself. And I'm laughing at you. Because most of you turds are 30, 40, 50 years old. So you got 40 years to live with the damage that you've done to yourselves. Because I ain't going to be here. 10 or 20 years from now, I'm going to be pushing daisies up in the graveyard. You know, I'm going to cease to exist. And I won't have to put up with this bullshit anymore. You know, you got yourself an atheist that's been running this country for 4 years. You'll probably get the same atheist that's running the country for the next 4 years. And he can parade around with his porn star wife, laughing at all of you for the jokes that you are. You know, and the rest of us are going to suffer for your stupid mistake. I ain't going to sit there and say, oh, you're just mad, you're having this, that, and that, you're just having a pity party. No, I'm not. I came to the realization weeks ago that we were heading in this direction. And if you go back to my webcast that I made, it's up there on my YouTube channel. I said it does not matter who wins this election. Doesn't matter. Biden wins, doesn't matter. Trump wins, doesn't matter. Because the fate of this country was sealed a long time ago. And it just played out this week and continues to play out. Now by Monday or Tuesday, we may have all this concluded and know who is going to win the contest. In that sense. Who's going to be the president? Is it going to be Biden? Is it going to be Trump? But in the end, it simply doesn't matter. The country has already lost. Because we are a country of bigots, we are a country of racists, and we are a country of haters. And we lost because of that. Russia has won because they have weakened this country to the point where it's never going to recover. The United States is done. It's finished. It's going to be a third world country from here on out. Europe is going to be the next world leader. China is going to be the next superpower. The United States is no longer a superpower. Yeah, we got some toys that can destroy the earth and stuff like that, but we'll never use them. Because, we'll get blown up first. And we got people like Trump that give away all the secrets. So we're powerless as a country. We're a weak sister. We're a resource that can be plundered by foreign powers. You have no idea, those of you who think you won, what we have lost as a country. Because of a choice you made in 2016. You can fool yourselves, you can cheer, parade, put your banners up, fly your flags, pretend you believe in God and all that. But you're only fooling yourselves. Oh, and we mustn't forget QAnon. Oh, these people are a trip. Now, the QAnons are going to celebrate. They're going to say, oh, we defeated the deep state. We did this, we did that. We're gonna get Biden thrown in jail. We're gonna get Hunter thrown in jail. We're gonna get Hillary thrown in jail. You ain't gonna do shit. Because you're old news. The minute the clock struck midnight on Tuesday, you're old news. Now you're gonna be around to blow your trumpets for a few months. Maybe a year. But in the end, it's going to come a time you're a distant memory. It's kind of like the World Series. They all sit there and say, oh, we're cheering for the team. The World Series, this guy's going to win, that guy's going to win. Well, the World Series is over. Super Bowl is over. The game is won or lost. It's done. It's time to go on to the next thing, the next fad, the next trend. What's going to be in the news tomorrow? Because for the next 2 to 4 years, there's not going to be any more politics. We may start up again, 3 years from now, see who else we're going to run in there. One of the kids going to run for president next. We're going to have Ivanka be the first female president of the United States. Who knows? But we may not have a country to have an election to. We may be a satellite of Russia before the president is done in his term. Hard to say. Because when you start voting with your pocketbook, and you start running the country with your pocketbook, and you start letting your pocketbook determine what's going to happen, you're lost as a country. You're nothing more than an oligarchy. And that's what the United States is turning into. The crooks are going to be running the show. And this brings us back to the coward and the con man. I am not certain anymore that justice is going to reign. That the con man from Wisconsin is going to serve any time in jail. And I don't have any faith that the coward from Minnesota is ever going to receive justice. They're probably just going to fade away and be a distant memory. that there's not going to be anyone that cares about these people within the space of a few months. I think at this time next year, it's going to be just like Casey Anthony. They're going to be largely forgotten. See, that's what happened to Casey Anthony. She was a big deal for 2 years. You know, the mother that got away with murder, the mother that lied to the FBI, the mother that did this and that, the mother who everybody thought was going to go to prison for the rest of her life, and she got away scot-free. That's our justice system in this country. You know, it's probably the right decision because Orange County, with its inept investigation, dropped the ball. Couldn't come up with a connection between the death of the child and the mother. And so the mother got away with it. Another child in Putnam, or Palatka, we'll never know what happened to her. The girl with the answers is locked up in a jail. She'll never confess. She got away with it. Melinda Duckett, she committed suicide to hide whatever happened to her son. That case will go unsolved. And we've got, I don't know how many cases in this state that are unsolved, missing, women that just vanish. Jennifer Kessian, like that. No answers. Maybe 30, 40 years from now there'll be an answer, but not now. Most of us will never live to see what the answer is going to be. These people are just going to remain a mystery. The children are going to remain missing. And it's going to be con men and cowards that are going to take advantage of it with their insane, idiotic conspiracy theories. When Q is gone, these idiots will still be out there spewing their nonsense. They'll find some other excuse. Epstein, that's a story that's going to die eventually. You know, Maxine, she will face justice. Maybe get away with it. Maybe the president will pardon her in order to cover up his sins. Hard to say. But in the end, justice is not going to prevail. I don't have faith in the justice system anymore. You know, I just don't. You know, I have always believed that sooner or later, the guilty face justice. I don't believe that anymore. There's been too many examples of where this is not the case, where these criminals, people that are guilty of the most disgusting things in society, get away with it. You know, my reputation has been ruined by criminals, by a fraud, people that pretend that they're part of the United States government, that they are third in line of the president, and spread this lying filth. They're not getting any justice. So why bother? You know, why have live streams where I combat these people, expose their lies? Doesn't do any good. They get away with it. They're free to lie, cheat, and steal daily. And so the beat goes on. I'm not sure what the next step is going to be. The Friday Murdathon that I'm scheduled to have may be the last one. It's a wasted effort. It's a waste of time. Doesn't accomplish anything. A dozen people or so sit around, we chat, discuss things. In the end, it doesn't matter. Not going to change anything. Stuff is going to keep on. You know, you're going to get on Twitter and you're going to squawk about this person, that person, somebody stuffing a dog in a suitcase. So what? What's it going to do? You know, not going to change anything. The dog is still going to be in the suitcase, a dead dog, stinking up the apartment. You know, people call from jail and brag about what got them in jail in the first place, and they become a martyr. You know, we celebrate the lawbreakers in this country. We don't celebrate justice. We don't celebrate truth, justice, in the American way in this country. We celebrate the liars, the cheaters, and the haters. Because that's where we're at as a country today. We lie, cheat, and steal ourselves through our daily lives. That's how you get ahead. You lie, cheat, and steal. That's how you get ahead anymore. Honesty is not the best policy. Anybody that tries to get ahead honestly and by following the rules is a fool. That's just the way it is. If you want to get ahead in the world, you got to lie. If you want to get ahead in the world, you got to cheat. If you want to get ahead in the world, you got to steal. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Because you're going to fall flat on your face and the rest of the world is going to walk all over the top of you. So I don't know. At this point, with the frustration I have no idea what I'm going to do or talk about. I've got things that I wanted to do. I have the Mesa project that I want to do. I have the County Electric project I want to do. All kinds of stuff I want to do. I don't know if it's worth bothering with. I may do it just for the hell of it, just because I can. May not get a dozen views for doing it. May get laughed at. I don't know. There are plenty of people on YouTube that are doing the same thing that I'm going to be doing. Exact same thing I'm doing, as a matter of fact, in a couple cases. You know, I've got all this fancy photographic equipment. I might as well do something with it. You know, set up a 24-hour live stream of a cactus growing in my front yard or something. I was going to set up a 24-hour live stream of hummingbirds coming to the feeders, but they're cutting down all the trees where I live, so there's no hummingbirds to come to the bird feeders. So I've taken them all down. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. Because I've got Netflix, I've got Hulu, I've got HBO, Showtime, I got cable TV. You can go out to pawn shops and buy DVDs for $3 a piece. So I'll just sit back, put the recliner back, watch TV, maybe play, I got a powerful computer that I use for live streaming. Maybe I'll get Flight Simulator 2000 in 2020. Pretend to fly all over the United States. I can do that. I've still got my routine that I'm doing right now, where I do wheels up between 10 a.m. and noon, get my business done, turn around and come back. So there's always that. Funny world we have out there. So, see what happens. But there will be a Friday Murder-thon. There may be a Thursday mobile-thon. I don't know. Because it's, these little ramblings that I do every day in the car as I'm going to the airport, time killer. I suppose I could listen to talk shows, I could turn on the radio, listen to music, instead of sitting here talking to an unknown audience while driving down the road, but it's a thing. But in the end, kind of hard to know what tomorrow's going to bring. But as I said in the beginning, I'm a pessimist now. I'm not an optimist. And I guess it's safe, to say that I am an atheist, or at least leaning in that direction, because we have an atheist as president. Anybody that thinks that Donald Trump believes in God is an idiot. He doesn't. If he believes in a God, that God is Donald Trump. He doesn't believe in the God that all of you out there believe in. He believes in himself. He doesn't care about you. All those people that voted for Trump that thinks he cares about you, he doesn't. This guy with the golden toilet, all the fancy decorations and stuff, he doesn't give a shit about you. And you're going to find that out the hard way. And just wait until the 2021 tax season. Oh boy, are you in for a surprise. So you thought you had it made, and that the economy's great, and you're going to have all these jobs. Ew, boy, are you in for a rude awakening. Your taxes are going up. See, I studied the tax code, so I know what's going to happen in the next year, even though I'm on Social Security. And guess what, folks? Everybody from $10,000 a year on up is going to see a tax increase. All those deductions that were given to us in the phony tax cuts at the beginning of this clown's administration are going away. They were temporary. And it's going to get even worse. And the payroll deductions that you didn't have to pay on your Social Security, that's all coming back. An additional thing, you got to pay income tax on that. So, you didn't win anything. You're going to lose. Just you wait. And you think you're going to be able to do something about it? No. Because, the Republicans you voted in right now are going to have all the power. It's going to be gerrymandering and all kinds of shit. You ain't going to be able to do shit. You're stuck. Doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. You're not going to be able to vote anybody out. They'll game the system like they did this time around. I found out that maybe there was a deep state, but it wasn't the Democrats. Deep state is you. You filed for a bill of goods. You fell for the snake oil salesman selling you the crap. Doesn't do anything. All the consumer protections we have, that's gone. Obamacare, that's gone. You thought Obama's bad? Wait till you see what the Republicans come up with. You're going to be in really bad shape. You might as well count on dying 10 years sooner than you would have otherwise. At least in those states that have legalized marijuana and other recreational drugs, you'll be able to smoke yourself into a stupor and forget about the world. In those states where that's not legal, you can go out and get yourself some moonshine or some alcohol and get drunk, because that's about all you're going to be able to do is get drunk. Go to work, bust your ass for shit wages, and then come home and get drunk. That's all you're going to be able to do. You ain't going to have shit. And the guys with the big yachts and the fancy cars and the huge ranches and the penthouses, they're going to laugh their asses off at you for being so fucking stupid. You ain't going to be able to do anything about it. There's not going to be any Russian Revolution or French Revolution because the government's going to have all the weapons. So you ain't gonna be able to overthrow the government. That's, go out there and be Proud Boys. You're gonna be dead Proud Boys, because Marine snipers will shoot you dead. So you're done. The country's done. The United States as an experiment has ended because we were stupid enough to let it. We were stupid enough to sit back and let the American oligarch take over the country. Putin saw it coming. North Korea saw it coming. China saw it coming. Iran and Iraq saw it coming. Everybody saw it coming but us. We walked right into the trap. The trap of complacency, the trap of greed, the trap of hate, the trap of bigotry, and the trap of racism. We walked into it, we're paying the price for it. And our downfall is because of it. This is William K. Murtaugh, Mert Witness 1. Have a good one.